Hello, Cancer, and welcome to Indigo Rising Tarot. Thank you so much for joining me, and I hope you're having a great day. This will be your weekly reading for the week of January 25th through the 31st. And during that time, we do have our first quarter moon that comes in on the 26th. And first quarters can kind of feel like that full moon energy. I see it like where that full moon energy for me can last for 2 or 3 days. The first quarter is it's a blip of a day, but it is that same energy where you might feel impulsive, impatient, a little bit active, extra energy. It's just hard to sit still, buckle down, get things done. So keep that in mind because we did then move into the waxing gibbous energy. And of course, that's a little calmer, good time to understand things a little deeper, to act on your intuition, and also a good time to plan but make adjustments and be flexible on the things that you're working on. So just keep that, especially that first quarter day, in mind. Like, don't plan anything big that day. So keep those moon energies in mind as we move through the week. This will be your weekly reading for the week of January 25th through the 31st, and it will be an intuitive general reading for energies that you may or may not encounter, Cancer. So, as always, please take what resonates today and leave what doesn't on the table for someone else. And your overall message for this reading is to look at the bigger picture. All right, let's see what the Cancer Collective has going on for the week. As I'm shuffling, my fun weekly reminder this week, Cancer, is that you keep a spiritual journal. So this is just writing down things. This would be just patterns that are evolving. This could be numbers that you're seeing, repeating numbers, or an animal that you've encountered, and then write down maybe the elements of that animal. I know I use that in a way that if I see an animal that I don't see all the time and I think, what is there a situation in my life where I need to use the attributes of that animal, that sort of thing. It might be a dream that you have that doesn't make sense now. I know I've got so many dreams that I've journaled about that at the time I was like, what in the world is this? What is that crazy dream? And then I'll come back a year later or 2 years later and read that dream and think, oh my gosh, that was totally symbolic of what I was about to go through and didn't even know it. So it's just a helpful thing to have. But that's my fun weekly reminder, is to keep a dream journal. It can be an important tool in your spiritual development and growth. So all right, let's get into this reading here, January 25th through the 31st. Look at the bigger picture. All right, your overall present energy right now is the Two of Pentacles, which, I think you're the third reading I've done this evening, and this is the first time I've seen a pentacle. So looks like you're juggling things, trying to keep some things in the air, and it could be financial, it could be just material things. Sometimes we get bogged down with work, and then the trying to keep things done at home, and just trying to keep everything, in the air. Sometimes it's hard to do. I get it. We've all been there. It looks like you're kind of going through that right now. Let's see what the cards are going to say about this current situation. Wheel of Fortune comes around. So, things evolve, things change, things, one thing can change your life tomorrow. So if it just takes, keeping, just breathing through the times when you're trying to keep it all going and you just feel exhausted about it, just remember that it just takes one little things and one little change sometimes to change things so that you don't feel like that next week. And is that a change that you're going to bring about? Is it something you're learning? And it could be, we all do that. Sometimes we feel a little bit more organized in our life and there's a better flow. Sometimes there's not. Look around, see if there's been any change for you that might be making you feel a little more harried and like you're trying to keep it all in the air, and then make the appropriate changes, right? At the root of this situation is the Seven of Swords here. So this is the card of cunning, craftiness. This is theft or hidden agenda. Is there something going on around you or with you um, that is maybe causing that feeling? And that could be it too. This could just, there's some sort of disruption. And maybe you're aware of it, maybe you're not aware of it. And sometimes, you're like, why are things off balance? And I'm trying to think of a situation where it could be, um, and it could be actual theft. It could be that you're dealing with something that's going on that just kind of knocked you off balance a little bit. So again, make sure you're just managing whatever that might be. Let's see what the cards say as we're coming out here. Just in your recent past here, King of Swords. So, you're coming into this with some knowledge of just logic, how things kind of work in the communication realm. Being able to be very clear about something. So let's keep going, see what the story is. Again, we're look at the bigger picture was the overall card. What's on your mind this week is the Queen of Pentacles. So, you know, more pentacles coming out here. On your mind is to really have an understanding of how things worked. And maybe this was theft. I mean, this could be like, oh, well, I didn't know that I needed to be checking that credit card balance and someone got away with something or stole something or my number was compromised or my information was compromised. So it could just be, gaining that knowledge and learning how to just manage things so that you don't find yourself juggling and dealing with any kind of theft or hidden agenda. Just protect yourself better. What is just ahead of you this week is feeling a little bit like an outsider, and maybe you would if you're feeling like if you're managing all of this, and maybe you did have something actually stolen from you, and it could have been monetary since we've got so many pentacles coming up here. Um, but yeah, you feel like an outsider. It feels awful. That's an awful feeling. But just realize that you're not alone. I guarantee you, if it's some kind of like a credit card thing or what, someone else has already been through that. So you're not alone. We've all kind of been there where we felt like, it's very violating to feel like something was compromised of yours. And you'll get through it. It'll pass, and you'll learn how to protect yourself better. So I think this Wheel of Fortune card is an indicator of what are you learning? How have you evolved? How do you get to evolve through this? And what learning experience? And a lot of times you get to go through something like this once, and you're just better at protecting things, protecting yourself. In your advice position is the Two of Swords. So, there may be some indecision on that, on just, it can be overwhelming. We also have two twos on the table now. So look up angel number 22, see if that means anything to you. But the advice, you know, this just means no decisions until you think things through. So definitely think, whatever this is, think it through to the end, all the different possibilities, and what is the best decision and way for you to manage it, and how to deal with it in the future. So this just means really don't be flippant about it. You really just need to think the entire situation through and get yourself, again, if it's a protection thing, for your finances or whatever, just make sure you think that all the way through so that you are protected in that manner. All right. What is beyond your control this week is that I think you'll feel good about it by the end of the week. This is kind of being pat on the back, a little bit of a celebration through this. It may not be, it's not, I don't know. Like, I feel like you do get through it. You get through it and you're like, okay, made it through that. Even if it's just you patting yourself on the back or the people closest to you, I do feel like there is some kind of success, and you get to have a change in there. You get to learn the thing, you get to evolve. It's not through a fun thing, a fun way of doing it, but it's something that we all kind of have to go through. All right, what is your secret desire, or what are you trying to avoid? And that is the Three of Pentacles, which is about collaboration or coming together, or it is your secret desire to collaborate and come together. Usually this is in the creative realm, but this could be, you know, and this will be your big question of the week is, do you want to collaborate about this or talk with other people about this, or, maybe talk to your partner or your family, or you may be just mortified that this has even happened, and you're trying to avoid any kind of um, collaborating or talking about it at all. So really think that through. That's your big question of the week, and it's okay to make either of those decisions, but at least understand why you're making that decision and make sure that it is the best decision, because you might feel like an outsider and feel like, oh, I can't believe I let this thing happen to me, and da da da. You just feel so stupid about yourself sometimes. I mean, we've all been there, but sometimes just sharing that with someone, like if you shared that with me, I would be like, let me tell you, I got a story about, we've all been there. So I would tell you about my story, and just share that. Don't feel like that. It's just a learning thing. You learn it, you evolve, you move on, and it's okay. You're going to be just fine. In your outcome position is the Death card. So you're done with whatever. I think you do make a decision to change how you do things, and it could be, again, to change how you do things in, maybe the financial realm, the digital realm. We all have to protect ourselves, and things are ever evolving and ever changing. So just kind of a little heads up for you to maybe take a look at that sort of thing this week, Cancer. What is hidden from you this week is the Knight of Wands. So, any action on the passion front, I don't see passionate action. I just see more logical, thought, more things going on. Again, look up angel number 22. This isn't like I don't, there's not a lot of cups here either. I don't feel like you're too emotional about it. You are going to change you're going to make a big change in how you do some things. And you're just going to protect yourself better. And again, look at the bigger picture. Look at how you want to do things for longer term down the road, and be in a place where you can protect yourself so that you just don't have to get back there again, right? All right, let's see what the Soul Oracle deck says for Cancer this week. Final message here from the Soul Oracle deck says, address your addictions. Okay, whatever that might be. That kind of came out of the blue for me. Address your addictions. Like, do you have some sort of I don't know what that means. That might make sense to you. Look at the bigger picture. Address your addictions. Do you have some sort of, are you having an issue with money that maybe it's like an addiction to shopping or gambling or some sort of thing like that, where it's a financial thing? So you may want to address that if that seems to be an issue, or if that's what got you into trouble here in the first place, right? All right. Let's take a look at self-care for Cancer. Self-care for you, and the card that you get is the card that says action. Baby steps are still steps, and they're better than standing still. So we're going to take baby steps. We're going to make a decision here. I do feel like, again, this is about some sort of theft or, excuse me, hidden agenda or something around you where it is making you feel like you're juggling things. So is this some sort of addiction to, um, again, I'm going to say something in the financial realm where you're feeling like an outside, like an addiction to shopping, going to be that sort of thing that you're just having to manage, some like material thing. And just, remember, it's material stuff. We can't take it with us. Is it really that important? And it could just, maybe you're just facing the piper on the Christmas spending, the holiday spending, and you don't have to do that. Look at the bigger picture. Does it really serve you to go into any sort of debt or feel like, to feel like that, it's just not worth it. So if, and this death card to me means you are making a big change in a big way about this, that you're like, I am not going to do that anymore. You're going to make some sort of commitment, and things will look better in months and definitely by the next year. And I think even this week you're going to feel better about the situation, whatever it is. It's got you feeling kind of like an outsider. You're going to get better about it even through the week, Cancer. So Cancer, thank you so much. Whatever you're going through out there, I'm sure you're going to get through it. Drop me a comment down below if you want to share, and let me know if there was something that I missed in this reading. Again, tarot is a template, and it'll template over a different situation. So this could be about some sort of theft situation. It could be about some sort of addiction situation, something that you just don't, you feel like you're juggling and like you don't quite have control of it. So you need to just manage and regain that control and understand that you're evolving, and you can evolve and you can be a better person tomorrow, right? If you learn the lesson, that's what we're all here doing. So hang in there, Cancer. Thank you so much for being here. And if you like my reading style, of course, please hit that like and subscribe button. It really helps my channel, but more importantly, it'll help you find me next week, where you can come back and we can see if this story continues, or hopefully there's a completely new, more positive energy here for you next week. So Cancer, thanks so much. Good luck with this situation, and I'll see you next week. Bye-bye.